All right, discussion time, class. All right, come on in, everybody. Come on in. Take a seat, take a seat, take a seat. Sit there, sit here. All right, let's get right into it. If y'all new to the channel, man, y'all tapped in with the Head of the Game podcast. Without further ado, y'all read the title. Let's get right into it. So let's talk about this AP situation. Why AP came out with these cheap ass watches. Oh, why do I call them cheap ass watches? They cheap because they're affordable, right? And I think the point of exclusivity is for not everybody to be invited in the club, right? And it's just my personal take because there's two sides of it, but I'm gonna pick a side, but I'm gonna make an argument for the other side as well because I don't want to be completely biased and oblivious to what's going on, right? So I'll give y'all an analogy, right? If y'all ever played any trading card game like Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, so on and so forth, right? When a specific dominant card comes out in a specific pack and a certain deck or archetype comes out and is dominating, it's the staple. It's one of the most hardest cards to acquire unless you're paying for it or you train for it, right? Because it's hard to pull out of the pack because in a pack of 150, they might only have 10 of them in a whole, set of packs that you got in that specific pack, right? Or you could buy 10, so on and so forth. Y'all get it, right? Y'all get the analogy. That after a while, because this card is so much high in demand, 2, 3, 4, 5 months down the road, they'll come out with a structure deck. Now, what is a structure deck? A structure deck is pretty much a pre-built deck that's mid-competitive right out the box. Now, you can sit up there, add other cards, and boost it up and make it a very viable competitive deck to be able to compete, on a competitive level, right? So what am I getting at? That in these structure decks, they'll come out with this very expensive card that came out in a pack, right? Because getting in the pack will be all holographic and it'd be all this specific rarity, and you'll be like, wow, this is amazing. It's holographic and it glows and so on and so forth, right? Very rare card. What the company of that trading card place would do months down the road to make everybody generally competitive because they don't want the top 10% of players to be head and shoulders above all the other players, right? At least not for the long term. So what they'll do is they'll come out with a common, if y'all don't know the specifics of trading card, rarities, specifically Yu-Gi-Oh, you got common, rare, super rare, ultra rare, and then you got secret and starlight and all this other stuff, and I don't get into all that, right? The point is that the price of those original rarity cards, the market drags the price down because due to the new common accessible cards, it dilutes the exclusivity, therefore bringing down the value of that said asset, price, however you want to put it, right? Another hypothetical situation would be Mercedes-Benz coming out with eco-friendly, affordable car. Now, they got affordable cars, but let's say they brought them down towards like the equivalent of getting like a Honda Civic or a Toyota Camry, right? But it's a Mercedes-Benz. It's still a Benz, but they manufactured and they toned down the performance of the car to make it more accessible, though that the brand is supposed to represent exclusivity. Or even if Lamborghini did the same thing, right? It would make the Lambos that's able to perform at a high level, that brand will now, their premium cars, though it would still be high priced, because now it's more accessible, you have more out on the street, seeing a Lamborghini now is no longer a shock factor is gone, right? So that's what AP did to this brand, right? So they undercut their own market for the watches that they did have that were exclusive to whoever was well off or whoever could afford it. And they came out with these generic version of their watches, right? And it just has me thinking, like, when I buy AP, right, I could be a working man, which I am right now, entrepreneur aspirations, just putting that out there. But currently right now in my position, I'm a working man, and I can acquire AP without breaking the bank. So imagine I'm somewhere, doing my thing, and maybe somebody with a certain name comes around. He got an AP, I got an AP, and it's just kind of like there's so many ways you can look at it. It's just kind of like Team Jordans, right? Now there are some expensive Team Jordans, but people understand knowing that regardless of what asset class, whether it's whatever product, the accessibility has a lot to do with the value. Because if it's accessible and its exclusivity is gone away, that then dilutes the value because everybody can acquire it. So what's the good thing? What's the good side about this? Because I told you I was going to give y'all the opposite argument of this, right? Let's try to make an opposing argument just to make this a balanced conversation, right? So AP coming out, maybe they looking at it like, all right, well, moving forward, maybe because of this economy and everybody getting their head busted in with the taxes and so on and so forth and inflation, maybe people can't buy APs the way they once used to, right? So maybe they got to lower their standards to get to a certain market that they never really had any interest towards, because maybe people are laying off APs, right? As far as like the people that usually used to buy, right? That's kind of like what's another watch company? Oh my gosh, what is that freaking watch called? It'll come to me. Not a Rolex, not a Rolex. It's it'll come to me. It'll come to me. But there's this, and y'all can leave it in the comments, right? It's one of those watches, and it got all the, it got all those figurines and stuff inside of it, and all these different gears and stuff like that. Those watches, imagine if they came out with a $1,000 watch, and give me 1 second. I'll look up the watch. All right, I found it, y'all. My bad. I really didn't have to look up the name. I just typed in expensive watches, and it just came to my head, right? So if Richard Mille decided to come out with this same idea, right? Like, all right, we're now going to go and cater our brand to a specific audience, right? A specific class. Would that dilute the price of the watches that they have? Because the thing about watches, right, contrary to popular belief, is actually an appreciating asset, right? If you buy a certain kind of watch, it usually retains value. So it would be a smart investment if you got a watch that was expensive, right? If you bought a crazy expensive watch, right, that probably wouldn't be a total waste of money, because a lot of people don't know that watches do retain a lot of value, right? So generally on this other side of this argument, I'm just basically saying that maybe they see certain numbers. Now, like I said, those watches, the original watch, is still gonna somewhat be still in the same price range, right? But maybe they looking at like, hey, all money in,